Okay, let's talk about one of the most powerful and honestly most mysterious parts of any grad school application, the letter of recommendation, or LOR. You don't write it, you almost never get to see it, but it's in there, speaking for you. So today, we're going to crack the code on what makes a truly great LOR. And believe me, the stakes are incredibly high. A single, powerful letter can literally be the one thing that moves your application from that dreaded maybe pile straight into the accept pile. This isn't just a box to check off. It is a total game changer.
So what's the secret sauce? What separates a totally forgettable letter from one that makes an entire admissions committee sit up and pay attention? It's not just about getting a good letter. It's about understanding the secret, unwritten rules to getting a great one.
Now, here's the thing that I think most people get wrong. A great letter doesn't actually start with the person writing it. Nope, it starts with you, the applicant. You can't just send a quick email and hope for the best. You have to be a strategic partner in this. You've got to reframe how you think about this. Your job is to make it not just possible, but easy for your recommender to write an amazing, detailed, knock-it-out-of-the-park letter. You're the one who provides all the raw materials. So, how do you actually do that? Well, Professor Lace Patilla offers this brilliant 4-step playbook. You start with gratitude, you remind them of what you learned from them, but step 3, that's the magic phrase, asking for a strong letter. That little word gives them a polite way to say no if they don't think they can be enthusiastic, which is exactly what you want. Trust me, a lukewarm letter is an absolute killer. And that 4th step is the recommender's packet. Look, think about it from their perspective. They're busy, so make their job easy. Give them everything. Your CV, your statement of purpose, a neat list of all the programs and deadlines, and even a little summary of your achievements. You can even remind them of a specific project you worked on. This packet is what gives them the concrete details they need to make you shine.
All right, so you've done your part. You've asked perfectly. You've provided this incredible packet. Now let's flip the script. Let's get inside the recommender's mind. What actually makes a letter powerful from their side of the desk?
This quote right here just nails it. We can get so obsessed with trying to get a letter from some famous big-name professor, but a generic 2-paragraph letter from a Nobel laureate is worth way less than a super detailed, passionate letter from someone who really, truly knows your work. Content is always king.
Okay, let's look at this side by side. On the left, you see conscientious and hardworking. I mean, it's nice, but it's weak. Now look at the right. One of the 4 or 5 most outstanding students I have taught. Whoa, that's a real ranking. Personable is fine, but a creative thinker with a devotion to logic, that's got substance. See the difference? Strong letters don't use fluffy adjectives. They give specific, powerful evidence. Now, this next one is a huge one, especially for any international applicants or professors out there. It's a massive cultural difference. According to expert Karen Kelsky, when you're writing for a U.S. university, the letter has to be 100% positive. There is absolutely no room for a balanced assessment. So this American style is a delicate balance. You have to be super positive, but it has to be backed up with evidence. You're framing the person as a future colleague, not just a student. And what might seem like an honest, objective assessment in other parts of the world can be the kiss of death in a U.S. application. Any tiny mention of a weakness can get you tossed. It's got to be overwhelmingly positive, but backed by facts. So just how detailed should it be? Well, here's a benchmark from Karen Kelsey that might surprise you. You ready for this? An effective top-tier letter for a U.S. program should be at least 2 pages. Single-spaced, yeah. That length sends a powerful signal that the writer knows you really well and has a ton of positive things to say. A short 1-page letter just doesn't have the same impact. Okay, so we know what a great letter looks like. We know the strategy. But what happens when it actually lands on the desk of the admissions committee? How do they use it? Well, let's pull back the curtain. And this isn't just a guess. This is the real deal. We are looking at the actual internal PhD admissions rubric from Cornell University. This document shows us exactly how letters of recommendation are used to score every single applicant. It all boils down to 3 core criteria they use to score everyone: academic potential, motivation, and, of course, fit. So let's start with criterion A, academic potential. The question they're asking here is pretty simple. Have you got the intellectual chops to handle the intense work of a PhD program? And boom, look right there in the indicators. The rubric explicitly tells the committee to look at your LORs for evidence of academic capability, of creativity, of originality. This is where those specific examples, like your devotion to logic, become direct proof that boosts your score.
Okay, next step, motivation. It's not enough to just be smart, right? They need to know that you are genuinely committed to this long, difficult journey, specifically in their field.
And what do you know? Once again, the rubric points them straight to your letters. The committee is literally checking to see if your recommenders back up the motivation you talk about in your personal statement. It's a third-party verification of your commitment. It's huge.
And finally, there's fit. This is about more than just your research interests. They're asking, is this person going to be a good colleague, a positive member of our community? Basically, are you going to be a good field citizen? This is where your letters are absolutely essential. Your grades can't show that you're cooperative. Your CV can't prove that you're a good team player. The committee is relying almost entirely on your LORs for this. A recommender telling a short story about how you helped your lab mates, that is pure gold. All right, so we've covered a ton of ground here, from your strategy as an applicant to the recommender's mindset to how the committee actually scores you. So what's the bottom line?
If you remember nothing else, remember these 3 things. 1, be a true partner to your recommender. 2, make sure your letters are packed with specific evidence, not just vague praise. And 3, know the rules of the game. For U.S. schools, that means it's got to be enthusiastic, detailed, and 100% positive.
You know, your GPA tells one story, your personal statement tells another. But it's your letters of recommendation that tell the story of how other professionals see your future potential. So as you get all your application materials together, just ask yourself, what story will your letters tell?